you got women dancing half naked around you, and yet dudes find any old reason to just fight. One of Murder's homeboys bumps into the rival gang members. They have a war of words. Next thing you know, a fight breaks out, and you saw the rest. The fight goes on stage. Murder's involved, fighting with people back and forth to the point to where Diamond and his security team has to break everything up. So, yeah, I just would never understand, the purpose of fighting when you're in an environment where women are around. It was like, if y'all beefing like that, y'all could take the beef outside. Like, look, we in this environment with half naked women dancing around us. I, for one, definitely would not be in the mood to fight. Right then, right there. It don't gotta be on site all the time, fellas. That's all I'm saying, dog. Hey, what's going on, folks? It's your boy Ryan, and this is another episode of Just My Opinion with Ryan. And if you can see the pop up here, it would do me a huge favor if you hit that subscribe button to help me reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers, one subscriber at a time. I would truly appreciate it. Excuse me. We're here to talk about Pvalley, episode 9. We have one more episode after the one that just played. Just off the bat, I felt like they're trying to squeeze a lot in before the season wraps up. And granted, on one hand, I do understand, it seems like they're trying to get in as much as possible since we won't see a season 3 until next year. So let's get into it. The way it opened up, I was just like, all right, Pvalley, what are we doing? Yeah, and granted, I guess they were going for a joke, something over the top or whatever, but I could have done without it. You got Andre teaming up with the strippers in his campaign commercials. And then, to the rebuttal, we got Patrice coming down on the float, dancing on the stripper pole. And it's just like, yeah, I could have done without that. But some of my more interesting storylines that I like to get into, definitely the Keyshawn and Autumn. Although the Autumn and Andre storyline and the whole campaign thing is one of my least favorite storylines, I do appreciate the storyline of Autumn trying to help Keyshawn get out of her abusive situation. So that, it's one step closer. Things are getting real. I really enjoy that storyline. We got everything is in place. Keyshawn got her daughters at her sister's house, I believe. Derek is finally holding off a job, so he has other things that's occupying his time other than trying to lurk over Keyshawn. So I'm loving the way it's going. Definitely some tension with Keyshawn throughout this episode for many reasons. Big Bone, for one. She definitely feels, threatened. She understands the type of tension. It's clearly written all over Diamond's face. So, of course, Big Bone at one point had stepped to Keyshawn about that whole thing. And that's one thing I never understood. Like, no matter whose fault it is, it's like, check your man. Don't check the other woman. That's just been my whole thing. Of course, Keyshawn definitely has feelings for Diamond as well. But if Diamond and Big Bone are a couple, Big Bone got to check Diamond. There's really no point to check Keyshawn. But anyway, clearly, Big Bone got word, maybe heard through those thin ass stripper walls that the whole escape plan that Keyshawn and Autumn have been planning. And for the fact that Keyshawn kissed Diamond, during that whole scuffle, I think Big Bone's about to, the whole jealousy is about to, rear his ugly head, and she about to fuck up everything. I think she's gonna mess up Keyshawn's escape somehow, some way. Definitely mess up whatever voodoo feng shui that Diamond has going, because she clearly was going to take Montavious' ring that he's been hiding for safety. So that season finale is about to get real, and I believe Big Bone is going to have a big reason, why things get really messed up. The other storyline that I did appreciate is the Mercedes and Farrah storyline. I thought that was kind of a interesting way to bring back Farrah after that threesome blew up in everybody's face. Farrah decided to file for divorce. Apparently, seeing Mercedes independence and so forth, it has given Farrah some courage to go ahead and get back to her photography thing after seeing Mercedes do her independent thing. She found Mercedes' stripper occupation to be empowering or inspiring in some way, and you clearly see it at the museum exhibit. But if I'm Mercedes, yes, I'm flattered, but Mercedes got to have a conversation with Farrah. Like, all right, look, you got my ass swinging all through the all these pictures of me swinging on the poles in this museum exhibit. One, I've never signed any type of consent and release form, at least to our knowledge. And two, if anything that you're selling in here, where's my cut as the main subject in the damn photos? So I'm gonna need Mercedes to have that conversation about Farrah. Like, hey, this is all flattering and all, but whatever you sell, like, what's my cut going to be out of this? So, and that conversation was cool. I mean, Mercedes definitely made it clear, like, she doesn't see herself sleeping with Farrah ever again, because she said it was more business than pleasure. Well, a little bit of pleasure, but I thought it was cool how she ended it. So it seems as if you stayed around for the previews for the season finale, it seems as if Mercedes and Farrah may perhaps develop a business relationship where Farrah is a photographer and Mercedes is going to maybe do her personal stripper thing. And so I'm hopeful for Mercedes. Maybe this is an alternate way out of the whole stripper thing, because clearly it's not necessarily the whole 7 pounds of pressure on her shoulder thing. It definitely seems more mental, as she said, or as it was discovered when she was practicing, when she's dancing on that pole. It's being more and more clear that she's more scared. She's scared of falling again. It's not necessarily her shoulder. Mentally, she just can't get over herself falling, and and that's what's really messing up her performance. So, yeah. So I'm hopeful for Mercedes that perhaps with maybe this photography museum exhibit thing with Farrah, maybe this could be a way out for Mercedes. So let's hope for the best when it comes to that. Also with Mercedes, I couldn't help but laugh just a little bit. I know it was a serious moment, but when she ran out of the strip club after practicing, because she don't got the moves like she used to, and she's like, I can't bust it like I used to, that had me on the floor dying. I'm sorry. And speaking of the whole practice going bad, who you guys have in a fight, Mercedes or Roulette? They kind of had a little bit of sparring of words. Personally, I think Roulette is too crazy. I think Mercedes need to go ahead and leave that alone. Mercedes is too crazy to be trying to fight or have any type of beef with. So the whole Mercedes thing, I love how that's kind of wrapping up. Also, speaking of our Roulette, which is another what are we doing moment in my opinion. Like, what are we doing? Like, so Roulette is like an undercover pimp now, fam. Like, is that really what it's coming down to? I mean, granted, Toy was in a bad spot. She got fired because she's still coughing and sneezing all up in the Pynk. And, Clifford can't take it anymore. He's already triggered because it's the coughing and sneezing that has Ernestine on her deathbed. So, of course she got fired on the spot. Her car might get repoed. She's down bad financially. And Roulette gives her that water cash, virtually saying, hey, I own you now. I might have an alternate way of you getting some money. So that's kind of crazy, but that's what it is. And let me jump back to Mercedes a little bit more. I also did kind of appreciate it. It does seem like she's just taking a step back and realizing that, it's Keyshawn's time to shine. When during the reopening of the Pynk, there was like kind of a sweet moment where Mercedes is in the cut with Maine, And she, at the moment, she's just looking at Keyshawn perform and just kind of admiring Keyshawn's work. She at one point even was like, sometimes you just gotta sit back and appreciate the art. I thought it was kind of a sweet thing, almost, in a weird roundabout way, almost kind of like passing of the torches between strippers. It's like the OG Mercedes knows she's maybe starting to get too old for this business, and so I felt like it was an unofficial way of passing the torch from Mercedes to Keyshawn. In terms of stripper world. So yeah, I did like how that was going down. Dang, there was so much to get into. I know I'm missing something. Oh, of course, how can I forget? We definitely have the surprise cameo appearance with Meg Thee Stallion, aka Tina Snow. And I thought that was cool too. You see, Murder go on his Instagram to announce like an impromptu pop up at the Pynk, which of course brings more business, which of course in return brings more money to Keyshawn, so she could possibly get out of a situation. So that was cool. The whole Tina Snow thing was dope. She's rapping on stage. You got Keyshawn, Roulette, and Whisper dancing on stage. And then, of course, Murder comes on there and he kills it as well. I definitely don't know what to expect in the season finale, but, do you think someone's going to die in the season finale? I don't know who yet. I'm kind of worried for Murder. I'm leaning towards, maybe Maine, aka Thomas Jones, maybe the one to shoot Murder. But yeah, so that's also just as wild. But of course, another thing that I don't understand is, you have all of these women. You're at a strip club. You got women dancing half naked around you, and yet dudes find any old reason to just fight. One of Murder's homeboys bumps into the rival gang members. They have a war of words. Next thing you know, a fight breaks out, and you saw the rest. The fight goes on stage. Murder's involved, fighting with people back and forth to the point to where Diamond and his security team has to break everything up. So, yeah, I just would never understand, the purpose of fighting when you're in an environment where women are around. It was like, if y'all beefing like that, y'all could take the beef outside. Like, look, we in this environment with half naked women dancing around us. I, for one, definitely would not be in the mood to fight. Right then, right there. It don't gotta be on site all the time, fellas. That's all I'm saying, dog. So I just didn't get it. I did, and this is my third and final, back up a little bit. This is my third and final what are we doing type of moment that I saw. Or maybe not what are we doing, but I guess it felt like it's starting to be a unnecessary time storyline. But Corbin, apparently appreciating or looking forward to being whipped by Clifford. That felt too random to me. That's like one of the many examples of, Pvalley just trying to squeeze in as many storylines as possible before season 2 ends. Like, if I'm not mistaken, I think they've already been renewed for a third season. So I don't know if they're trying to squeeze in a lot of stuff as if there's only going to be 2 seasons. I don't know, but I felt like they're just squeezing in too much in this episode. And this was one of them. This just felt totally random to me. It just felt like a random ass left turn out of nowhere, or something out of left field. But we see that he's willing to pay, whatever amount of money to get whipped by Clifford. He even has like this big Pulp Fiction box that you open it up and it's like a glowing whip or whatever in there. And Clifford obliges, of course. And we definitely seen that this Clifford and Corbin thing isn't new, because Corbin says something to the effect of, you're the only one that could whip it right or hit it right, whatever he said. So you already see what the deal is. So, of course, it begs the question, like, okay, hey, maybe Corbin is undercover as well. Maybe he's bi. I don't know. And like I said, I say this is random. You know, if you see me with the videos, I'm of course in support of people loving whoever they love. All that, whatever your kink is. I don't want this to come off like I'm kink shaming. My only complaint is I really felt like that was just a totally random ass storyline to throw in there. So I definitely don't want it to get it twisted as if it's something that I'm shaming or whatever the case is. I just felt like it was probably one of the more random things in this story. Another random thing that's kind of, I feel like, thrown in there just to, I guess, heighten some type of drama. We got Autumn that's pregnant. You know, we didn't see any signs of this happening at all until episode 9. And if you believe, you know, Whispers and her way with the universe and crystals, she's saying that she's assuming that Autumn has twins. So we'll see how that goes. I think that's just about everything, man. I can't recall. Oh, I'm lying. And then you definitely got Andre getting caught red-handed, making out with Autumn. His wife is somehow in the house. I guess she got the key, whatever the case is. So that's just a whole mess. All the more reason why I don't like this storyline. It's like you're trying to, I feel like they're trying to force this Andre and Autumn love connection when, you know, ever since season 1, he's been, you know, flirting or, you know, more on that line of being unfaithful in the first place. So it was just like, I don't know. And of course, I'm not trying to sound like some negative Nancy or anything like that. I overall do like the Pvalley. I just feel like this was one of my least favorite episodes so far. And I guess we'll end it with the other final thing. I did appreciate how Keyshawn and Uncle Clifford had that moment. Keyshawn is writing on the keyboard, is writing on the mirror about how she'll always be their sister. And then Uncle Clifford runs into her. And then they end up, you know, having like a heart-to-heart moment before she leaves. Uncle Clifford already knows what the deal is, already knows why Keyshawn needs to leave. And he's encouraging her, look, don't ever come back here, this, that, and the third. So even though Clifford didn't help as much as, it wasn't as vital as Autumn has been, you know, you definitely see the encouragement once, you know, Clifford understands what's going down. So I thought that was very dope, very commendable. Yeah, man, I just really appreciate how this episode, well, I appreciate how the show overall has just been this, you know, a part of a conversation damn near every week. As I mentioned, not my favorite episode, but nevertheless, I thought it was still pretty dope. This season, not this episode. Oh yeah, and just a quick side note, Big L gets fired because he's caught, you know, holding work, you know, that white with him and the white boy on the side for extra money. So there's that as well. Love it or hate it, folks. These are just my opinions. Please leave something in the comments. Let me know what you thought. If you agree or disagree with anything. And these are just my opinions, folks. Peace.